Hey friends, welcome to the weekend edition of 40 Things to Give Up for Lent and Beyond. And today we are talking about giving up overcommitment. There are 24 hours in a day. There are 7 days in a week. And there are 365 days in a year. If you believe that God knows what He is doing, then you believe that God gave us just the right amount of time. And if 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, and 365 days in a year is not enough time to get the things done that you are doing, then you are probably doing more than God ever intended for you to do. We always have enough time to get done what is important. And if there is something that you did not get done, it's not that there was not enough time, it just was that it was not a high enough priority for you to accomplish it. Every time that we say yes to one thing, we are saying no to another thing. But we try to have it all, we try to do it all, even though we are finite beings. We are not God, even as hard as we try to be. Jesus says, "Let your yes be yes, and let your no be no." He says this in Matthew chapter 5, verse 37. And many of us, we're good at saying yes, but what we're not so good at is saying no. The key in all of this is to make sure that your priorities are God's priorities. And one of God's priorities for your life is that you have margin in your life. This is the space in your life which is not committed to any one particular thing. The problem is we make commitments to the point where we can't make any more commitments, and we live in a situation that is simply unsustainable. We need to learn to say no to the wrong things so that we can say yes to the right things. Now, the problem with that is that it's not always so clear what the wrong things are. And we need discernment here because there are lots of good choices in life. And we need to separate the good choices in life from the best choices in life. And we're able to do this with the discernment that God gives to us. Now, in our Lutheran tradition, the third commandment is honor the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. The Sabbath day is a day of rest. It was a day to stop. It's a day for us to create margin in our lives. One of the reasons we rush so much is because we believe that everything is dependent upon us, that if something's going to get done, that we need to take care of it. But the Sabbath is a way of saying, God, I have faith that you are in charge, and what I am not able to accomplish, Lord, I know that you are going to accomplish the rest. In fact, there's nothing that I can accomplish on my own without your strength and your power. As much as it is important to build Sabbath rest into your week, it is important to build Sabbath rest into your day as well. There are many days in my life where I am tempted to skip my morning devotions. There's many days where I think to myself all the different things that I have to get done. And I don't have time to spend with God in Bible study. I don't have time to spend with God in prayers. And I just plow forward into my work. But what ends up happening on those days oftentimes is I end up very frustrated with my work because really my priorities are no longer God's priorities. By spending that time with Him, He gives me insight to say yes to what I need to say yes to, and by saying no to what I need to say no to. So those days where I make sure and spend that time with Him, I find are much more productive than the days I don't spend that time with Him. Well, there is a lot to do, my friends, and it's time to say no so that we can say yes to all the incredible things that God has in store for us. Remember, your value is not found in what you accomplish, but ultimately your value is found in what Jesus has accomplished in your behalf. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.